John Rossi. I'm a touring drummer with a passion for animal conservation. When I'm on the road, I spend as much time as possible visiting zoos, aquariums, and conservation organizations. Now, I want to share those places with you. I'll be talking to keepers, vets, conservationists, anyone who can help me in my mission of connecting my people to animals through their people. Join me on my Rossifari. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the Rossifari podcast. All right, y'all, so we've got a really fun and unique episode this week coming to you from the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo. Now, I'm sure you remember that is the only AZA-accredited zoo to be found at a high school in the United States. It's at Millbrook School, which is a private boarding school. And they have some really great animals, they have some really great staff, and they have some really great students. And you may be thinking to yourself, didn't we just do a couple episodes from the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo just like a few months back? And the answer is yes. Yes, we did. And this one was also recorded in October when I visited the zoo. But I've had a bunch of episodes that kind of had to come out at a certain time. And so this one kept getting pushed back because it didn't have a specific date it needed to come out. And now it gets to, and so it is here. But the reason I mention that is a couple of things. First of all, in one of the interviews, they mention a Halloween event, and I don't want to throw any of you, as we are currently in March. Don't worry. Halloween did not just happen, even though I think for some of us it feels like it did. But that's a different story entirely. But the main reason I mention this is that you are going to hear us talk about the binturongs at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo, including a discussion about Vivi, who was the female binturong at the zoo. And unfortunately, she has passed away. And we talked about that on Zoo News and stuff. I love leaving that stuff in, though, because it's still such a great tribute to, Vivi was an incredible binturong. I had the opportunity to meet her, and we all miss her. So, might as well celebrate that moment. But I did want to share that. So this episode is really 3 mini interviews, my Minterviews, as I like to call them. Okay. So we're going to start off and you're going to hear from Max. And Max has been on the podcast before in the AZA recap episode. I spoke to him, and he is one of the head student curators at the zoo. And so we spend some more time just talking about what that responsibility is and what that's like. And there's a lot of... It's fun because Max is a senior this year and is going to be leaving the zoo. And there's a lot of introspection about that in the interview. As a matter of fact, I had to edit out a couple of really long silences as he processed that. You'll still hear the stuff he said, but there were, 20 and 30 seconds of him just thinking about that. And it's really powerful, I think, to get to hear what that's like for somebody who loves a zoo so much to then be leaving it, whether it is because, they're at high school with a zoo and they're graduating, or just because that's where life or their career is taking them. It's a really common theme in this industry. Then you are going to hear from 3 different students who are all not from the States. And I think it's really fun to get their perspective on why they're at Millbrook and what draws them to the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo and all of that stuff. And then the third one that you're going to hear, our third Minterview, is with Dr. Alan Tousignant, who runs the zoo. And this was very cool, and it's a real pivot from the first 2. But Dr. T sat me down and walked me through their master plan for the next, decades. I don't remember how long it was off the top of my head, but he showed me the future of the zoo, and it was really exciting to sit there and watch it and hear him, frankly, be so excited about it. It was very cool. So I am excited to share all 3 of these very different tales with you. So, with all of that explanation and exposition, I think it's time to get to it. And we are going to start off with our interview with Max. Enjoy. All right. So, who are you and what do you do here?
My name is Max Amsterdam. I am a sixth former, which many of you have no idea what that is.
Nobody
that is
knows
a
what that is.
Senior in high school. It's some New England slang. But here at Millbrook School, and I am a head student curator at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo.
Yeah. And so we chatted at AZA, and now we're back and we are at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo. So how are things here for you?
They're great. I mean, senior year, I like to separate it, because something could be great here and not be great somewhere else. So while senior year is very hard, I love working at the zoo. We just finished up a big Halloween event that I spent months planning. I spent 27 hours here over the weekend setting up for this event. And
so many hours.
I thought I was going to lose my mind. But it went well. We do like a haunted house, like a haunted walk through like the back of the zoo. It's like a creepy trail. And we just have people coming out and jumping and screaming in people's faces. And it usually goes well every year. We started it my freshman year, and I got to like capstone that project of mine, and I may think this last one with me has been the best of all four so far.
Nice. That's really cool. And so you're a head student curator, which means that you are a leader of leaders of people. And so what does that look like for you?
So for me, there's four head student curators, and I would say that it is different for everyone, because you could put in less work as a head student curator, which means that your responsibilities then result in fewer responsibilities. So, I mean, how much you put in is how much you get out of it. I probably go 110% zoo. Well, most of the other ones, I would say we've got one I'm 110. We've got one that's like 100. We've one that's like 65%. And then we've one that's like 40%. Which, I mean, it's good to have all of us, because we're all very different people too. So, like, my point of view about something at the zoo would be very different from another one, and we can combine our beliefs and our opinions, and we make something better in the end. But so every Tuesday there are staff meetings at the zoo. Our job as head student curators is to be in that staff meeting. So whatever they share with each other, we're in that. So if there's something happening with animal husbandry, or a student that they need to talk about in community service, or plans for the upcoming week, vet visits, we are involved in that. And then every Thursday after formal dinner, we conduct a meeting with all the curators, which it's about 24 of us. And we share what we feel is necessary for everyone to know, and then also ways that we can improve, because at the end of every week, there's always room to improve. Because I may be a little biased, but I think that being a curator is the most responsible, or the most responsibility heavy, in a sense, leadership role at the school, because not only is the animal's life in your hands, but a student's life could be in your hands depending on the animal that you're in, because anything can happen. They're unpredictable animals, but they're unpredictable when you're with an unexperienced group of people, because when you're more experienced, you can understand animal behavior a little bit better and understand how your behavior can affect theirs. But when you're with four freshmen that have never some didn't even know what a red panda was. Right. And they're going in there and they're learning how to feed, and those things have sharp claws, you know? And one slash could cause a lot of problems. Yep. So our role as curators is to find those students or just convince those students that there's so many opportunities here at the zoo, as well as there's so much joy to be found here. The meaning behind caring for something other than yourself is so strong. And what we're doing here is actually making a difference in the world. And it's beyond incredible. And then being able to head that group or that, I don't know how to put it, that leadership sector is even more meaningful. I mean, I like to think that the amount of time I put in to the zoo has paid off. But I mean, this year I'm approaching 4,000 hours of free time at the zoo. So not including the required zoo squad that I'm in after school, and not including community service time, but strictly free time. So it means a lot that my role at the zoo has been recognized, and I was given the chance to prove it as a head zoo curator.
Yeah, that's really cool. There have been some changes at the zoo since 100%. The last time I was here, which I've enjoyed seeing. The most obvious for most people is the fact that there's a baby red panda here, Ember. Have you spent much time with Ember, or at the very least watching mom and dad and seeing how they're doing and everything?
So I spent a decent amount of time, as much as any other student would, maybe a little bit more since I'm here more often. Her personality is unlike, in my time here, we've had two baby red pandas. We've had Sandy, now known as Raj, at Santa Barbara Zoo, and now we have Ember. She is one of the sassiest. She just looks at you and she like, I'm going to get you. You've done something wrong. Yet her mom is like, oh, you have food for me. And then she'll come up, like, you could be so friendly with Lucy, but you'd think that, like, by watching your mother's behavior, you would echo some of that. But no, she was born with the devil. She is very passionate about having personal space.
Fair. That's really cool.
But I mean, I've taken some videos of her, when she's come out, which is very few times. She's very slowly building up confidence to come outside.
Sure.
Can't wait till that happens. And when she's fully outside, jumping around with mom. But it's been awesome. It's so cool to say that I've gotten to work with a baby red panda twice.
Yeah.
I mean, as a freshman, I have videos in my phone of Raj, like, using me as a jungle gym, like, because we were doing some basic training, target training, station, and the attention span when you're younger is not always the same. So, I became like a little playhouse for Raj, and it's the cutest thing ever. I mean, I got a red panda crawl on me.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the few people out there who has also experienced that, it's unlike anything else.
It's changed my life.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's like crazy.
Like it may sound to most people like odd to say, but it really changed my life.
Oh yeah,
like to be able to, and like when we have the vet visits and we get to hold these species that normally you don't get to hold, like, it's incredible. It's genuinely incredible. There's so many new things I learn about them every single day. It's also so cool to see, like, the product, like, because our first red panda cub was a product of Betsy and Ju, and now it's Lucy and Ju. And you could see some of the differences between the two cubs, like, physically. But it's cool to see, like, what traits they got from which parent. I'd say that mostly they're looking a lot like Ju. I mean, the ones that we've had. But you never know. It's also the beginning. They change.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also got binturongs here.
Yes.
So tell me about your bints.
So we have Vivi and Anton. They are both a retired breeding pair. And it's like this is their nursing home. You know? They have a little waterfall in their enclosure. They haven't built up the courage there's been water in there a couple times. We haven't turned it on yet, but like when it's rained, there's been water. They haven't built up the courage to do that yet. I think their age plays a big role in it, the amount of energy they have. But their Anton is our male. And one thing I learned about them is that the male is significantly smaller, at least in our case. And they're such a cool species. I mean, the amount of people that I brought in there and have been scared of them, like, if you look at them for a brief moment in the beginning, you're like, what the actual is this? Like, it looks like a demonic rat couldn't crawl on trees. But then you like, it's like, they're cute. They really are. Like, if you spend more time with they're like, through their behavior, and then just through like, they're just cute. Especially Vivi. She's, I think of like a cuckoo grandma, and then like, that's like Vivi as a binturong. She's loves to climb around the enclosure. Me and Dr. T built, or Dr. T and I built a hammock out of fire hose, and it's in their enclosure. And sometimes visitors will walk by and they won't see the animal, and then all of a sudden you'll see like a little like black tail like drooping off of the enclosure, and then you look, and it's like Anton's like just like sunbathing.
Yeah,
but awesome. It's so awesome to see that I'm helping with the little things that like building something can bring them enjoyment in the day. But yeah, they're really cool species to work with, and they're new for the zoo, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah, I love them. First thing I did when I got here today was make sure I got some time with those
100%.
two, even before red pandas, which shocks a lot of people, but I love binturongs. Yeah. And these two, I was actually at Mesker Park Zoo when they had bintlets. I think the last time they had them. And so I saw them running around with their little kids and all that stuff. I think they're pretty ready for their retirement home now. Yeah. But it was very cool to see, and they're very cool animals.
But I think it was great for us to get that retired pair, because as it being the first time we've had binturongs, it's a good way to understand how they live their lives. And I definitely see it being an animal that continues to live at the zoo for generations.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very, very cool.
So cool.
So that corner is probably one of my favorite corners of the zoo, because we got like the red panda, and then right across we have binturong, and then right next to it are either the cranes that scream, and then we have the baby sika deer, which he is so cute. But
yeah, it's a really great area. Very cool. Yeah. So I'm curious, what effect do you think, outside of like the effect that the zoo has on you personally, which we've talked about a little bit, but like, you're a high school kid, you're at your high school. Does this impact things in a positive way? Are you the cool zoo kid? Are you the nerdy zoo kid that gets beat up by the jocks? Like, what impact does it have on you?
I think that's an important thing to talk about, because it's not very clear. It's so different that like, what would you expect it to be? You know, is it like the chess club, or is it like the athlete?
Right. Yeah. So
there's always the kids that find it as like that chess club weirdo. But then there's also the kids that are like, wow, I wish I had taken that I was in your shoes, and I used that first experience and built up my connection with the zoo, because it can grow and grow and grow. And it, not only is it shaped what I want to become when I'm older, but as cliche as it sounds, it's an application booster for sure for college. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, most of the students that go to Ivy Leagues from Millbrook School were head student curators. And it's truly like, you've a wide spectrum of what students view us as. I definitely struggled my first 2 years here with being a weird zoo kid, because I would spend a lot of time down here. My zoo experience has been like a parabola in a sense. It started out like very strong. I spent so much time here, and then I started to spend a lot of time. I've never been a sports kid. I started to spend more time in the photography studio and ceramics, and which made my time at the zoo less frequent. And then this year, I really wanted to end my Millbrook journey back where, like, give back where, like, what gave to me. Like, I could never really repay what the zoo has done for me. But doing everything I possibly can this year is definitely my goal. And it's crazy that it's almost over. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, your next school will not have a zoo, most likely. No. Unless you go to the Santa Fe teaching college, but that's not. No. But if there's one positive light, it's that I've talked to a whole lot of, people, and I'm sure you know this, but for those listening too, I've talked to a whole heck of a lot of people that never really left. They come back regularly, and
the
they're
community
excited
and
about
the
it.
zoo family across the United States and beyond is so large.
Yeah.
And I got to see that for the first time at the conference. I mean, I really saw it for like the first time, but it wasn't as grandeur as like I went to AZ Advocacy Day last year. It was a really cool experience, but it wasn't as hyped up and as extreme as advocacy or as the conference.
Right.
I really saw the full scope of zoos and aquariums and that community at the conference, which I did not know that was that big. I also didn't know that people were willing to jump around and dance like crazy at 8:00 in the morning for the first general session.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I was not ready for that.
I was not ready for that.
No. I'm still not ready for that.
Just kept on going. And they added more and more. I was like,
somewhere around the mascots and the drum line. I was like, we've gone too far.
Yeah, like the giant jellyfish people started coming out. And I was like,
Yep. Yeah, it's a great community. It has those moments where you're like, okay, this is a bit much, but overall, it's a great community.
I've also seen how it grows like in the smaller world of like Millbrook and the zoo community here. It's been growing every year. We've had my first year. So we have something called Zoo Squad, which is a athletic alternative in the afternoon for kids that don't like to do sports, which I did each trimester in my freshman year. There were about 4 kids in it. One of the head curators, me, a head curator from last year, Jamie Cadis, who you
love. Jamie,
yes, love Jamie too.
Jamie is awesome.
Yep.
I was so bummed. I saw Jamie was at AZA, and I didn't get to say hi. I only saw afterwards.
Yeah, she was at Zoo Day.
Oh, okay, and I was already gone. Yeah. Big fan of Jamie.
Yeah, great. She's loving it at college. But she was there. She was in Zoo Squad, and then there was William, who's another head curator with me this year. And it was a small group, and it was kids that were all really interested in the zoo, which was also good. But this year there are now 17 kids in Zoo Squad.
Wow.
Ranging from I've never looked at an animal before and wanted to give it a try, from all the way to I live on a farm and I want to experience that feel of home in a sense, even though they'll get to know that it's not really like a farm. It's more of like a intricate operation. There's way more that goes into it than people think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I haven't run out of content in over 5 years.
It's great to see it grow.
Yeah, that is really cool
because it shows that like not only the impact that I made on the zoo on the school side, but also others and the work that, and it just proves that the zoo is only going to get better.
Yeah,
the more students that spend their time here and learn from Dr. T, Miss Bennett, Mr. Pugh, and everyone else, they're going to be better for it.
Absolutely. I still have to do translations whenever you say Miss Bennett, Mr. Pugh. I'm like, oh,
Jessica,
right, that's
Jess,
Alan,
and Kylie.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just have to like, it's like when I was learning Spanish and I had to kind of go through the like, agua means water. Right. Yeah. I'm like, I know who you're talking. But cool. So yeah, that's great. It's time now, don't you know? We've come to the end of the show. But there's one tale left to go. You're gonna laugh and say, oh no. It's time for the Rossifari poop story.
And it's a pretty funny one. So, it was Chinchilla Day. Or we were filming for Chinchilla Day. It was around, I think we were making a video, and we started in December, because Chinchilla Day is in March. I think it's like March 23rd or 22nd. And we were trying to make like a fake environment scene, and we had Sally, who is one of our chinchillas, she was like crawling around in it. So we brought like some sawdust, and we had some like fake wood, and it was a cool little thing that we did in Dan's office. And Sally's always been the chinchilla that's known to be we're gonna nickname Sassy Sally. She's always lived by herself because she doesn't get along with anyone else. And at the time, I didn't know that projectile urination was a self-defense mechanism for a chinchilla. So I go she gets down on the ground. She's chilling on the couch, as Sally would. I go to pick her up and put her in the crate because we're going to bring her back down to her exhibit. And I put her in the crate, and I go look in the crate, and there she goes, and she thrusts her hips at my face, and I get chinchilla urine all in my mouth, in my eyes, in my nose, in my ears, in my hair. And everyone started laughing, especially Dan.
I'm sure.
It was just like, it was such a shock. And then that's when I later did some research. I was like, it's a genuine thing they do. I mean, they can't do much. They're small little fur balls. And so, I'll give credit where credit's due. They found a way to keep people away. But whoa, I was not expecting that. And so, yeah, getting a mouthful of chinchilla pee was not on the agenda for that day, but it did happen.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good job. Cool. So let's go around the room and introduce yourselves and say what year you are here at the zoo.
Hi, I'm Lucy, and I'm Lucy Kim, and I'm from South Korea, and it's my second year in the zoo, and I'm a junior.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Selina. I am from Hong Kong. This is my third year at the zoo, and I'm also a junior.
Hi, I'm Evelyn. I'm from Shanghai, China. I'm also a junior, and this is my third year at the zoo.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So none of you are from the States. I was able to figure that out on my own after you said where you're from. What brought y'all here? Each of you, tell me your story of why you are in the middle of nowhere, New York. Go ahead, Lucy.
So my goal is to become a veterinarian.
That's a great goal.
And it was the first dream that I've ever had. You know, the kids have a lot of different dreams. Some kids want to be a scientist, the other people wants to be a firefighter, but the first dream that I've ever got was veterinarian. And the Millbrook School is the only AZA accredited zoo in the United States, and it's the only school that has a zoo in the whole world.
Yeah, it's insane.
So yeah, it's insane. So that's the reason why I came to Millbrook School.
You came here for the zoo.
Yeah, just for the zoo.
To be fair, I also came here for the zoo, but not as a student. But, that's a little different. Go ahead.
So I have a very, very similar reason as Lucy. I also wanted to be a vet, and I still want to be a vet. But before I came, I wanted to experience how being a vet actually looks like. And I wanted to have opportunity to expand into this career to see if this is the right fit for me. And that is why I chose Millbrook. And also, I have pet turtles. And I love them so much, but I would also want to experience taking care of more different types of animals outside of turtles, because my house is it wasn't too big for dogs and cats, so I couldn't have them. So as a kid, I've always wanted to have more pets, and I guess coming to the zoo allowed me to take care of more different types of animals that if I didn't come, I wouldn't know of.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What kind of turtles?
I have red-eared sliders. I have yellow-bellied sliders. Nice. That's kind of the most popular turtle breeds.
Oh, I'm a turtle nerd. I love turtles. Trust me, I'm aware. I'm very excited about that. That's really cool.
Me too. Turtles are my favorite animal.
Nice. Yeah, turtles are why I do everything that I do with all of this stuff. I fell in love with specifically a sea turtle at the National Aquarium in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And from the minute I saw her, I was like, well, I need to figure out some way to do stuff with animals. And it took a long time to figure that out. I have a whole other career and everything, but turtles are super special. Yeah.
They're super cute.
Absolutely.
I had a turtle too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so cute.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's so cool. All right, Evelyn, how about you?
So very similar. It's hilarious, but yeah, I also came here because of the zoo. Well, I had this idea of studying abroad when I was little, and I love animals. any kind of animals. Like, I like to go to the zoo when I was little. And then I have 2 cats, and I love cats. And I just feel like, just like Lucy said before, Millbrook is the only school in the United States who has a zoo on campus. And then it provides the students a ton of opportunities to stay close with the animals, explore different things about animals, how to take care of them, fun facts. Sometimes I've learned a lot in here. And like, I've seen animal species that I've never seen before, like the binturongs. I never heard of them, never seen them. And I just feel like it's so new, or like so exciting to be in an environment where there's so many things that you can learn and then explore about your passion. And then before I came here, I have been doing like a community service, kind of like rescuing animals, like stray animals, especially cats and dogs, in a suburb in Shanghai. And then it made me, I would say it consolidate my dream of pursuing a vet, or like being a vet in the future, because I want to help those animals better. I want to know what kind of medication could help them, how can they like rehab for them, and then just help them in general. And I feel like being a vet will be the best solution, or like best plan for it. And also Millbrook is a good choice for it, because the zoo, the resource, the chance we're going to get here, and then how often we'll be staying with the animals. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so cool. Now, I'm curious. Come on, man, do better. Yeah, go for it. I'll wait till you open the door. So, what is it like? I can't even imagine what it's like coming to another country for high school. What has that experience been like for y'all? And we'll just keep going in order. So we'll just go. Lucy, go ahead.
So it is completely different from my life in Korea, because when I was in Korea, I had to study 17 hours a day. Like, it happened every day.
That's so many hours in a day.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I'm an animal lover. Like, I love animals so much that I have 2 dogs, and I really wanted to have cats too, but I couldn't go back to my home and like see how my dogs were doing. So my life in Millbrook School is completely different. So every day except Monday and Friday and Sunday, we have community service. It's not like a lot of time, but it is still the time that we can still interact with animals here. And we have all the assigned groups. And like each groups can take care of 1 species or 2 species of animal. And like we can hand feed them. For example, we can hand feed the red pandas, and we have to like clean their houses, and like we can directly participate in helping the animals. So it really makes me proud of myself, and that's the reason why I enjoy my school life in Millbrook so much.
Yeah, that's so just to clarify,
Yeah.
You're saying that it is more fun to feed red pandas than to study for 17 hours a day.
Definitely.
Okay, just making sure I understand. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I was just hanging out with your pandas, and I love them so much. Mm-hmm. So that's, absolutely cool. And so how about you? What's your experience coming to a whole new country for school?
Okay, so first I thought I was going to be so homesick. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how I was going to do this transition, because I've never really been to a new country that is so far away from my house. This is actually the first time I've been to the U.S.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like Millbrook did so well in like making a really busy schedule. Keeps me busy all day, every day. And I just didn't even have time to feel homesick. So it was good. And also the zoo, there was so many animals to like interact with, and they just kept me busy and they kept me happy, even though I did think about home and I missed my turtles. But there's also turtles here that I could hang out with. I think Millbrook was there was a smooth transition for me.
I mean, I honestly find that shocking, like in a great way. And I know I've talked to so many people here on staff and stuff about how much they care about making sure that everyone is taken care of. But man, that's a tough transition. That's really cool that it was easy for you. How about you?
Well, I just feel like it's my first time to be in a boarding school. And I thought the life being trapped in a school will be boring. Like the only thing we can do is study, and study. But after I came to Millbrook, I found out that there's actually so many things to do in the weekends. Well, I have like zoo squad on Saturday, and then sometimes on Sunday when I'm like free or like I got bored of my work, I'll just come down to the zoo and have fun. And then that's something that I didn't expect to happen. And I just feel like it's such a nice way to spend time in here. And then I just feel like, yeah, it's like different kind of life or experience. And it's just new. And then it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's something I want to pursue in my future career. So I think everything worth it, especially when you came to here from China, you need like 18 hours of flight at least.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's very cool. So for all of you, since you're all interested in pursuing veterinary degrees and stuff, that's obviously high school, college, vet school, none of which are super easy. Is the plan to do all of that in the States? Do you guys want to go back to your home countries? Do you want to go explore more of the world for those steps? What's next in your heads right now? And I know it can change, but what are you guys thinking? Lucy?
So my plan is to just stay in the United States, because United States was always the country that I really wanted to live in and study, because, you know, it's such a strongest country, and like it's the biggest country, one of the biggest country in the world, and it's a great place to study. So I just want to finish all my careers in here, and I'm planning to live in here if I have any chances. So I think I'll just stay in here.
Trust me, with a Millbrook education, you'll have plenty of chances.
Yeah.
Just to be here means, and it's not just because they do great stuff here, although they do, but like to be here means you are brilliant and wonderful. And like you wouldn't be sitting here at this table right now if you weren't for all of you. So like I am sure you'll have every opportunity to stay. That's very cool. How about you?
I'm a little different from what Lucy thinks.
Okay.
So after being in America for 2 years, I feel like the climate here doesn't really suit me too well. Also, I did some research about pursuing vet in America. It takes a little longer compared to like my home country or, you know, other countries like Australia, England. So maybe in college, maybe I'll do like some study abroad programs or like experience studying it in different countries to see which one I want to pursue this degree in.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, very cool.
For me, I feel like I kind of want to go back and forth between China and the US. There's one thing that I kind of want to do before I came to Millbrook, since about the community service I did last few years ago. They kind of need people or like volunteers to transfer animals sometimes, like because one of the other things that the volunteer program do is also like finding families to adopt those stray cats and dogs when they're cured. So I kind of want to be the volunteer who can help with that program. Like I would be so happy to see those animals retrusting human, getting adopted, getting a new warm home. And I just feel satisfied seeing that. So I kind of want to do that. The other thing is that, well, like Selina talked about, I also did some research on vet schools and stuff. I feel like the U.S. education on veterinary science is also very interesting. And then you spend more time in here, which I feel excited about because I feel like longer time, which means that you can learn more stuff or you got more chances to explore about all the knowledge you can learn. And then I went to summer school for veterinary science this summer, and then I had fun learning how to like sew, and then like stitches and stuff, and then how to do like wrapping around them after they're injured, and then how to take care of them. I learned more about large animals, which I haven't been like learned a lot from, and it's a really special experience for me. And also, I don't want to be like too negative about my country, but it is true that the laws for animal protection is less popular, or like less, I don't know how to say this.
Potent?
But yeah. Like there's less protection towards animals.
Sure.
So I feel like it will better help. It could help both countries, because like if I am a successful vet and I go back to China, I can cure more animals with who got hurt or like injured. But like staying in here, it's just more resource for animal group as a whole world. So I feel like both places works for me, and then I just feel grateful to be here.
That's awesome. I love that. Favorite species to work with here?
My favorite species to work here is the lynx house.
Okay.
Yeah, because lynx is my favorite animal in here.
Nice.
So the
awesome.
lynx is kind of the bobcats, and they live from 11 to 15 years, but if humans take care of them, they can live maximum like 22 years. And our lynx, Stanley, is super cute. Like, he loves meatballs. Like, last year, he only ate meatballs. They were like the small meatballs. Like, we had to make eat small each meatballs, and then like spread on his like food tank. Then he ate it. Like, if we just gave whole the meat, he didn't eat it. That's the reason why I love Stanley so much.
That's okay. That's so cute. Yeah. I got to see Stanley earlier, and he is very, very cute. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
And mine is pretty obvious. It's turtles.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I absolutely love, like, they're so beautiful. Like, I love, like, their shells. They have different patterns, and I love to just, like, compare the patterns and stuff. And also think that there's, like, they're really strong, and they're small, but they're mighty. They can get really, like, they can, survive for a really long time, which is very surprising. And also, I've heard stories about sea turtles, like their natural cycle where they have to, they're born on the beach, and when they get out of the shell, they have to waddle into the ocean. And I just think that's a really like long and hard journey, and they're very resilient to do that.
Yeah.
And also they're like, even though they're slow, they do great things, and they provide, the ecosystem with a lot of benefits.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
The world would be really sad without them.
I agree. So would I. And apparently so would you. And then how about you?
It's really hard to say like which animal I like to work the best. Well, I want to say binturongs because it's my first curator animal, and it's meaningful for me. Like, it's the first time that I really have this responsibility to take my zooies, teach them how to work on cleaning the enclosure, poop scooping, feeding, enrichment items. And it feels good to be a leader. And especially in this field of things that I'm passionate about. Like, it's just a wonderful experience. And then I learned that they smell like popcorns. And I don't believe that when I first came here, when I first know this species. And I was like, no, it doesn't smell like popcorn. And I went into there and I was like, nah, it doesn't go like that. And then there's one night when I was in my dorm, I opened up a packet of popcorners and I was like, wait, this is binturong smell. And I got so shocked. But it's just fun. And it's like, I won't have this experience where like I won't know this if I never worked with them before.
Right. They're such amazing animals.
Yeah. And then it's just like, it's so special. And then I just like working with them. They're so cute, and they are bigger than I thought, much bigger than I thought. They're huge. And Vivi, our female one, she don't have teeth, but she sometimes when we hand feed her food, she just like so cute. Like I once got a video of her yawning, and like I don't really know how to describe this feeling, but it's just like the cutest creature I've ever seen.
And sometimes there's no way to describe why, but certain animal species just speak to certain people, whether it's binturons, turtles, or turtles or turtles. I eat like turtles, but I do find it really fascinating. But you're right; there's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes, like I know why I love my 4 favorite species, kind of, but also like I don't. There isn't a like scientific reason. There isn't like a moment where I was like, oh, this is why I love this. It was just like, oh, I'm completely obsessed with, red pandas now, binturons now, tree kangaroos now, turtles now. And that's just, it's I think it's one of the most amazing things about animals. And we're all pulled to different animals, which is great because we need to save all of them, right? And we need to do our conservation work and take care of them in facilities and stuff. And so I think it's really cool that is just kind of how that works out. I think it's really special. And the binturons here they're very special. Yeah.
It's time for the Rossifari poop story.
So I have one. So every day when we come to zoo, we have to dump the compost bucket. The compost bucket, we we collect all the leftover food or leftover any trash, like the kind of things inside it. But one time our zoo, we didn't dump it. And like the day after that, and when I came to the like tropical, that was in the tropical. So when I went to the tropical kitchen, like it stinks so bad. Oh. It was the rainy day, but I still had to dump it. And I had to walk for like 4 to 5 minutes to the dumpster, but I was still responsible for it because I'm a curator.
Right.
So I went to the dumpster and I dumped it, but there were already so much poop and other leftover food in the dumpster. It's still raining. And I was wearing a pink sneakers. And when I dumped the compost, it was so heavy. And I spilled some compost on my shoes, my pretty little pink shoes. And when I went back to the tropical kitchen and put the compost bucket back in there, I was so messy. I just smelled like a kinkajou. Do you know that feeling? I just smell like a kinkajou and galago and lemurs. But still, I'm a creator, so I just went back to my dorm and washed my shoes.
Nice. Very cool. Anyone else have a fun one?
Great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, I would say that. Similarly, I was washing the compost bucket. It was in that room. It is for like crickets, exhibit prep. It's for the geckos and all that. And you wouldn't think it was like dirty and disgusting, but it actually, it probably has been in there for a couple of days because it wasn't washed. And there were a lot of bugs. I don't remember what they're called. It's a specific species of bugs and they lay eggs all over it. What is it called? I don't remember. But anyways, when I was washing it with a hose, I sprayed onto it with too much force, and some of them like bounced onto my face, and some of them landed on my lips. Oh, it was just really disgusting.
Oh my gosh,
it wasn't a good experience.
That's amazing. How about you, Evelyn?
Well, mine says like I enjoyed it, but it sounds gross to somebody.
Okay.
Like to most of the people, I would say. I also want to say, so the animal is the owls or the birds of prey. They got feed with mice and meat, the zoo meat, and then sometimes like chicken, like little chicks. And then since they're all raw, I guess a lot of people think that they're gross and they smells bad. But I kind of enjoy doing that. Like in our house, like every single time when I got to do it, I got so excited. Like when I make like meatballs and then I put the chicks on top of it and stick into the perching, I feel satisfying.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so, but a lot of people think that they're gross. I shared this story with some of my friends in my English class once, and then they were like, their face squeezed together. And like, I was like, yeah, I like doing that. And then they were like, you're insane. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then they were just like laughing at me. But like, if you know, you know, like this thing is actually like that. Like when you actually do something, I also don't care about if people think that I'm a gross person by liking doing that.
Sure.
But yeah,
No,
it's not like embarrassing or it's like whatever, but I just like it.
No, I get it. So I think shrimp are the most disgusting thing in the world. I won't eat them, I won't cook them, I won't touch them, whatever, right? But I volunteer for Aquarium of Niagara, and when I have to prep shrimp for the diets of the animals that I'm taking care of, I am right in there shelling them, cutting them up. It doesn't fade. Like, it's still a little gross to me, but I'm happy doing it for the same reason. When you have the right reason to do something, it's cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, we'll go through the master plan that was developed by a company called SLAM, which was an architect firm, and then Perry Becker, which is a zoo design firm, and they paired up. SLAM had done work on the campus before, so they knew us pretty well. And we'll just go through what I think is sort of the highlight points. And back here, one of the things that I do want to highlight is that both companies were very eager to hear from students as kind of one of the sets of end users for this project. And so we did a lot of these exercises to find out what people's thoughts and interests were. And that actually created a lot of interesting discussions around what people really valued. There were lots of sort of guiding principles, but I would say the big ticket ones are improving animal well-being throughout the facility and improving our ability to educate all of our constituents, whether they're on-campus residents or visitors from the public. The current zoo is sort of this red outline here.
Okay.
And that includes this section, which is the holding area. And so the sort of the genesis of this whole thing was our previous master plan was developed in-house back in 1989, and has resulted in the zoo that has served us well for 30 plus years. But we've also gotten to a point where many of those exhibits are pretty old and need some upkeep, and some of the concepts of how we present animals have shifted, even in smaller zoos with smaller budgets. And so that was a main thought point of ours before we even had our AZA accreditation. And our inspectors did highlight that, we had some not modern zoological design spaces to think about. And they weren't coming at it so much from the perspective of you've got a bunch of junk, but from the perspective of there are ways to improve these habitats that would be better for the well-being of the animals. And so we took that to heart. This is the first time that we've had a professional firm, or in this case firms, design a master plan with us. And one of the keys to the master plan is you can see this dotted line up above the zoo. That is a 75-foot buffer zone along the entire perimeter of the zoo that is part of this horse farm that's to the east of us, or up as on the screen. And the school owns that property, but all of that property has a conservation easement on it, with the exception of that 75-foot buffer. So one of the key parts of this master plan is to create more space for some of the exhibits and some of the newer exhibits that we've got planned. And so that 75 foot times, I think it's about 13 or 1400 feet. That turns out to be quite a bit of real estate. So that has allowed us to kind of work on that idea. Like all master plans, this one's already shifted a little bit in terms of what will eventually be the case, but a couple of the main points for us are to develop better ways for safety vehicles to come in. So this Main Street idea is a wider corridor through the center of the zoo that would allow fire equipment to come in, et cetera. And I would say a second piece of the master plan is a lot of infrastructure work that will improve facilities that allow us to take better care of the animals, but that are the kinds of things that actually a visitor will probably never see. Like this access road here that comes all the way up and right now stops about here, but eventually will go all the way down and may even go out to the road behind us. Again, making great improvement in our ability to do sort of day-to-day life, but things that the visitors won't see a lot. So what you can see is that, we're going to go from about 6.5 acres of exhibit and holding area to almost 10 acres, adding that 2.4 acres on the outside. We'll also be including some exhibitry here. This will largely be South America, we think. It's a little bit dependent on there's a house that house right there is an 1860s house. We don't know how well it can be renovated or not, but if it can, that will become the event center for the zoo, around which will be South America. So it'll be kind of an immersive experience.
Nice.
And that'll be, I think, quite fun for people that attend events, but also allow us to generate some income to, again, put back into the program and the care for the animals. And then we have a bunch of spaces that could be future development, but that also will house a lot of our support areas. The shop will move from its current spot at the end of the parking lot up out of sight. That'll allow us to expand the parking lot. We're already extended on many days. People are parking in the street and
I'm sure, yeah.
down the road, et cetera. I'll point out one, sort of odd thing for the whole thing. A lot of, again, what we're doing has to do with developing infrastructure. So the current septic system sits out about here, and all that is going to become space that'll be connected to the hospital. And so we have to develop a whole new septic system that will have greater capacity and be in a different location. And again, that's something that no one will ever see. It'll probably cost us over $1 million. It's crazy, but the stuff you have to, do.
Yeah.
So this gives you a good idea of what we're sort of talking about. Currently, South America's over here. The idea is we virtually pick it up, plop it over here, surrounding that house for that immersive experience. The core of the zoo will stay about the same in terms of its orientation. We're in this building here right now. The oldest building in the zoo is that cinder block building, or what I now have learned is called CMU. And that will get renovated probably to have more student-facing classrooms and experiential learning spaces in it, and less animal habitats. And then the current kitchen and infirmary will get renovated to be all commissary or kitchen, providing the food prep area for the entire facility. And then that is made possible by the fact that one half of the building is the current clinic, and that will come over here to become the new hospital. And we'll talk about the hospital separately in a little bit.
Sure.
This is probably a 25-year rollout master plan. So again, it will probably go through iterations as time goes on. But the very first piece of it, this holding area, we began actually probably 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, and are almost complete in what for us is a state-of-the-art holding facility that blows our previous facility out of the water. So we think AZA is going to be pretty excited about that. We certainly are. And then, of course, we do have some land that we may be able to develop down the road for other things, and we'll just see how that goes. Now we'll flip through some of these because they're just kind of highlighting different spots. One of the key ingredients in the new master plan, like many zoos are doing, is bringing the back of house forward.
Mm-hmm.
So for many years, we were in the phase of everything's immersive. You can't see any, it's got to be all very Disney-esque. You can't see anything that says you're not in nature. And now it's becoming more popular to actually say, no, what's in the secret sauce? How do you take care of these animals? And so this will be kind of fun. Our students do it now anyway. They're talking to a lot of visitors. They're doing a lot of work, but that will help, make it easier to do that and kind of formalize the idea that we want to bring the back of house forward. This again is just that event center sort of off of this corner with this, big patio all around it that'll allow you as part of an event to kind of go out and feel like you're in South America.
That looks awesome.
That picture is easy to create. It's going to be hard to do, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, just trying to upgrade and modernize a lot of the habitats. We have a red panda habitat. The red pandas actually do very well in it. And yet it is not, as AZA would say, modern zoological design. So the idea is to take those exhibits. They may move place a little bit, but we'll continue to exhibit many of the same species, just in improved habitats. We have a few new species that we would love to include. Snow leopard is one. It would be right at the very top of the list of things that we feel we can work safely with students. It would also be for us a very top tier animal. We kind of have green, yellow, and red animals. A red animal would, even for the staff, be always a 2-person high safety protocol animal. Our green animals like rabbits and chinchillas, we can work with a lot broader audience with in very safe ways. So, it's a little bit of a modernization of the zoo and an ability to allow us to play a bigger role in the conservation efforts going around the world. Asian small-clawed otter will be another exhibit that will be costly, but allows us to actually compare 2 otter species, which will be quite fun. We'll see if this plays out. This is kind of also a communal area where the idea was you might be able to have some food trucks and have sort of a festival atmosphere at various times. We'll see if that survives the iterations of the master plan as we go through. And then we'll kind of go through these quickly. But one of the key components that we want to always be a part of is involving students in research. So the students now are out about campus. We've got students that are doing research in the zoo, all of it non-invasive, looking at hormone levels in animals through fecal extraction, things like that. Certainly lots of behavioral studies. And we want to be able to give them better spaces to do that and work on that as well. One of the key points that we don't have any graphics for it, but is also helping all of our staff and visitors and everybody know that all of our animals are equally important to us. So whether you're an ambassador animal, ball python, or whether you're a highly endangered species, you all deserve excellent care. And now I'll just kind of take you through. We haven't really landed on a thing yet, but just the idea of how they walked us through sort of the design charrette, looking at all the possibilities of what kind of buildings we could create, et cetera. We're kind of probably settling more in the sort of rustic northern New England realm as much as possible. Just a concept idea of what that cinder block building could eventually look like.
Wow.
And that one will actually probably be one of our most difficult renovations for 2 reasons. One, it's the oldest building, so it's got pretty aged infrastructure in it. but also it sits literally 80 feet from a Class C trout stream. So there will be some permitting challenges there probably. The Golden Triangle is kind of my term for these three buildings. It has traditionally always been sort of a congregation spot where people come in, and even if they've already been to the zoo, we often end up talking in the middle of the zoo. So the Golden Triangle will get significant upgrades and also become more of a inviting space. And then, just some tweaks on the what the entrance looks like for people coming up the road, so that we're less of a hidden gem and more of a destination for folks to come to. So the hospital will be the first real building part of the master plan, and like everything we're doing, it requires infrastructure is required before you can do a whole lot of work in zoos. And the hospital is about 4,700 square feet, so it's no small building. Compare that to the clinic that we have now, which is about 400 square feet. So we're 10 timesing the building space. And what you'll see is we're combining lots of programmatic themes into different spaces. So there will be space for meeting and staff so that we can properly vet students ahead of procedures and have good follow-up after procedures. We'll have both a treatment area and a surgery area, which again is a luxury for us to begin to think about. Right now, there are a number of procedures. If we really need sterility or we need something complicated, we're having to load animals up and bring them off-site to a veterinary clinic. We will have all the veterinary services will be in one particular area, all combined in the same building. All of this patio out here and this vestibule, they're all designed for folks from the public to be able to see in, again, bringing the back of house forward to see in what is happening in those rooms. We'll probably have a lot of spaces where we have video graphics playing. There are, of course, many days where nothing's happening at least nothing exciting is happening in a veterinary clinic. And if we do our jobs well, those days hopefully outnumber the other days. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we can't have videos playing to give people a lot of good value in terms of their experience at the zoo. And so, again, the idea is that's that deck outside. They're going to be able to look right in and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a big shift for our veterinarians and other folks to get used to the idea that people are going to be watching. I think we're going to do well. And especially given our collection, we're not doing, major elephant surgeries and things that, require 50 people in there doing all different kinds of things. So that's pretty exciting. When you talk to the staff, of course, just having proper spaces and actually just space to maneuver without being crowded in is pretty amazing. Again, just different wall treatments, and we're working through all those things. We will actually have a proper little pharmacy, which is kind of cool, and a separate lab area for the things that we run here, fecals, those kind of things, which is nice.
What is your current, your vet situation right now?
We have one veterinarian on staff who is a part-time. Okay. She is here one full day a week and as called when she can work it into her schedule. And then we actually have two formal and one informal consulting relationships that provide different things. So one of our veterinarians holds our DEA license for DEA controlled substances, and also does some of our hoof stock work. Another vet is close by and was a former intern here, and just has a strong interest in the zoo program, and so she'll provide some services, and was actually has been a part of a number of procedures that we've done. And then we have another veterinarian who's probably who knows, 5 to 10 years from retiring, and has what I would call a little bit more of an older school practice, but she's always available in an emergency, and so that's great.
Are you planning on sticking with that, or are you guys going to hire a full-time?
I think we'll probably keep with that for the moment until we figure out, what our best use is.
Right.
Even with this hospital, we won't have the true amount of work to keep a veterinarian busy, 5 days a week or whatever. Now, what I could see is at the right time, the right veterinarian who becomes a veterinarian and a teacher of, say, a veterinary class for us, those kinds of things, so that we fill out a full-time job with a variety of different things. But
very cool.
So that piece is important for us. Of course, it will have its own little kitchen area so that we can provide provide food for animals that are sick or whatever else without having to go over to the other space. And then just the look of the building on the outside. Again, here's that public space where they can kind of look in. And this is actually very exciting for us because although it will be a shift for the staff to realize that they're being watched, it's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're going to have better conservation if we push that.
Yeah, and it's also becoming the norm. I have not seen a new hospital in the last 3 years that doesn't have that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Very exciting for us is this little bay here. That's actually a back-end bay where we can unload for necropsy or bring in supplies.
Nice.
In a covered fashion. So again, it's something that the public will probably never see, but it's really nice for us.
That's cool.
So we're excited about that. And again, sticking with kind of a more rustic northern New England kind of look with the space. And so that's an exciting piece for us. It's where we are. We actually originally tried to design this building with an apartment or housing in it.
Okay.
So that we could always have a staff person there connected to the hospital. Turns out that that's complicated and raises the price considerably because you have to treat the residents, even though it's a residence, you have to treat it with hospital standards for the county regulations. So we're still considering housing. We've just broken it apart, and it might be as little as 50, 100 feet away from the hospital, but it'll be its own separate space.
Very cool.
So pretty exciting.
It looks awesome. It looks great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to cover all of these things over the next, couple decades.
Yeah. And I would say that, our students have played a big part in this whole process. Probably unbeknownst to them, they will continue to play a role in terms of helping us spread the word, fundraising, all those bits and pieces, because the public, especially with our model, loves to hear what our students are doing, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I have said to AZA, for many years now, that the current leadership in AZA is great, and it's also getting older, and so we need to bring new people into the fold, and the best way to do that is to give them as much exposure as possible so they can truly get energized, hooked, motivated to do the kinds of work that it's going to take to conserve the world.
Absolutely. Love that. And really, at the end of the day, that's what it all comes back to, right? Conservation, conserve the world. I love that that's always the focus, whether we're talking about reintroduction programs or head starting programs or even the master plan of a zoo, which might not be, something you would necessarily think about being super conservation focused when it comes to new buildings and species and all the things. But it is, and it always is at the good zoos. And I love that Alan thinks that way and instills that in his students. I have to say, I have met over the years so many incredible students at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo at Millbrook, and not only have they all been really cool, really smart, really with it people. I was going to say kids, but I mean young adults. But they really love the animals and the staff, and they love learning from the people there, whether it's Kylene, who you've heard from, or Dr. T, or Daniel, who does the PR stuff and is such a huge helper to me and an encouragement to all of them, or really the whole rest of the team. I mean, it's astonishing. It is a small but mighty crew, and yeah, there's such a love for them, and it makes me really, really, really happy. Honestly, it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, wanted to share all those different stories with you, and really glad that I got to. And as always, thank you to the entire team at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo for hosting me and giving me animal time and feeding me, which is always wonderful. So I appreciate y'all so much. Another group of people that I really appreciate is, I do have to say thank you to all of my patrons, and especially my Red Panda level patrons, Dr. Laura Schenk, Dr. Stephen Williamson, Barbara Bennett, Jenny Ellens, Melissa Reed, Carrie Kirkpatrick, John Lewis, who is also here for stickers, Kevin Williams, and Cormac McMuffin. Meow. And yeah, that's really all we got this week. I mean, I was saying that it's an hour and 15-minute long episode with 3 different interviews featuring 5 different guests and a couple other people butting their heads in. So yeah, I guess that's enough for y'all. But we'll be back on Friday with an episode of Zoo News. But until then, remember, friends, the word credits backwards is Steider.
The Rossifari podcast is produced, hosted, and engineered by John Rossi. Editing and fact-checking by John and Dr. Zoe Rossi. Our theme song is Sevens by Nathan Burke, performed by Nathan and John. Interrupting John theme and additional voices by Taylor Isaac Gray. You can reach John directly on Instagram and Facebook at Rossifari, or by email at rossifaripod@gmail.com. Rossifari is part of the Daydreamer Media Network. Now, stop listening to me and go visit a zoo.